Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the show. Guys are doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on this 12th May 2025. Doing super good. First day in a while that I feel good. Want to show you the nature corn because I'm gonna be making a lot of videos. Look at this. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it pretty, guys? I think it's marvelous. So I'm gonna put it here because we usually film the other side. So I think by doing this, it's gonna be actually kind of special. Plus, we'll switch it at halfway there. You're gonna hear me talk a lot. Gonna be making videos, and that's pretty much it. Oh shit. Okay, weird. Um. Sweet. Oh, this is supposed to be a thumbnail. Is it bloopers? Don't blink. It's your boy. Welcome to the first video we did in a while. I'm in a really good mood today. I'm talking about mental health. We've been doing a lot of videos. But first of all, I think the most important part is actually actually to see oh my god, dude. You know what? F that. I'm gonna do a I need this caffeine, so let's go ahead with a with a review of C4 Halloween Punch. I wasn't supposed to do this one. I was supposed to do a video before, but then I was like, okay, well, you're so freaking tired. Take this before, maybe it's gonna help you out. So we're tasting once again Halloween Punch C4. The cool thing with Halloween Punch, I'm pretty sure it's a candy. This is my second time having C4. Yesterday was the first time, and we had the wonderful, quite good grape popsicle. So I am kind of excited to see where this leads. I'm kind of excited to see where this goes. I'm kind of excited to see, okay, well, do we like this one or do we don't like this one? So without further ado, I wish I could tell you more. Not the most Hawaiian Punch kind of guy. To me, Hawaiian Punch is good, but so to me, okay, let's put it like that. To me, Hawaiian Punch it's very similar to a fruit punch. Hawaiian Punch is definitely better because the pineapple that it had is a bit more citrusy. However, I do believe that the Hawaiian Punch suffer from being too close to fruit punch, and I don't like the fruit punch. I love the design of the can, right? Super nice. Love this. We're watching DSP take on Last of Us 2, which is a bit old school. Can I say I disagree? Can I say I agree? I think that's with C4. I mean, I'll be completely honest, I wanted to taste more of this, but I don't shit in the store. It's like really rare, and I don't know why. So the way I'm seeing it, and it's actually quite a weird way to see things, is if it works, right? This is gonna be 2 out of 2 that I like. Now, for a lot of people, they'll say 2 out of 2 is people will say, dude, people will say, dude, 2 out of 2 is nothing, right? But what if you had a 0 out of 2? Then people will say, oh, this is awful. So the 2 out of 2 might not be the best score, but it's not the worst score. Without further ado, let's freaking go. Nice. I actually like this take on DSP Last of Us 2. Zdrowia. The smell is amazing, but I'm gonna be honest and say I'm mostly smelling cherry. I mentioned this before. You wouldn't think about cherry as a very powerful fruit, as a very overpowering fruit. But technically, if you look at the color of this, I'm gonna try to show you. If you look at the color of this, it's possibly red. The taste, the smell is cherry. So okay, okay. Didn't mention it. The pineapple and the citrus. Yum. Okay. I'll be completely honest. This is the second seafood that I had. I don't see any similarity, so it's hard for me to establish what is the blend. I'm gonna do a very quick recap because I could talk about this every single time, and you're tired of it. I'm tired of it. So, the blend is the only thing that matters because the gasified water is one thing. The blend is gonna be the flavor. Everything is gonna be. You can have 7 different company Blue Hawaiian Punch. It's gonna be the same syrup flavor for Hawaiian Punch. Then it'll be different. I don't taste it. It is boring, but it's nice. Boring in the sense of I'm actually really enjoying the Hawaiian Punch, but there's nothing extravagant about it. There's not a second taste of it. There's not a really pronounced taste for it. So it is fun. It is tasty. It is quite delicious. However, it's odd because you would take a juice. Oh, Crystal Atlan. And this looks like a good game. We might be training it. So Atlan looks really good. By the ad, I can tell which game it is. So this is more so a very personal. This is a very personal take on the subject. And again, possibly too personal for you guys. I'm apologize about that, but at least I'm honest, and I'll always be honest. I have this. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the C4 Hawaiian Punch. You want a review of C4? It's fun. It's good. I do take the Hawaiian Punch. It's boring because it is Hawaiian Punch juice with some gasified water. There's no extra taste. There's not a lot of sugar. I don't think the caffeine. It's fun. It's good. Would I then think differently? Yes. Because this, if you don't tell me that this is an energy drink, I think it's a soda. As to why energy drinks are so important to me, this is where we go. So, energy drinks for me are such a. I'll do another video for it, but I'll do another video for it. Right? It's good. It's good. I wish I could tell you more, but that's in a way that is exactly what I'm trying to say. I mean, having a hard time qualifying a product that is so flavorful as this one doesn't look good. If you have a spicy product, nobody say it's spicy, right? And your product that is spicy, nobody says it's spicy, that's different, right? But you don't want any of those. You don't want somebody that says no, it's not spicy. You don't want somebody that says it's only spicy. However, you have a third sauce, which is a jalapeno sauce. And the jalapeno sauce is very tasty. So you're like, okay, well, this is spicy and tasty, and that's what you want, right? So this is it. This is sweet, this is flavorful, but it's not, it's nothing. So, a bit disappointed, but still gonna be enjoying it. Dumbling, it's your boy. Welcome to the Welcome to our show. Because I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on this 12th May 2025. Then we're doing a lot of taste tests. We're doing energy taste tests. And because we're doing an energy taste test, I feel like I have to talk about why are energy drinks so important to me. I know it's a weird subject. I know it's really weird as a subject, but here we are. So it came from a video that I was doing reviewing the C4 Hawaiian Punch. And the actual reason for it was like, yo, I feel like I'm very it's such a weird thing. This is the perfect picture perfect. You know, we talk about a lot about the genesis of ink. What made me who I am. And energy drink has always been part of the what made me who I am. But I never really talked about why, right? So um, and even if you see the channel, you see that the thing that tasted the most are energy drink. You see that I've told you multiple times that I've been drinking energy drink for 10 years plus. We stopped having energy drink, right? We stopped having energy drink. We were addicted to energy drink. We stopped. Now we're continuing because again, I'm doing a 24-hour stream. And I gotta get used to the taste back because I need it for that day. Um, Even this weekend I was working and I was starting at 7 o'clock and I made myself a coffee and it was not good enough, so I went to buy an energy drink. And now I felt like, okay, well, I can attack that day. Um but why does energy drink matter so much? Well, I think it's kind of the idea of energy drink, right? Drinking one a day. That was in a crazy world. I know this is gonna sound absolutely crazy, but for the longest time, this was my routine. That only routine. I would start my day playing video games. I didn't know which game. I knew I was going to play games, but the only routine that I had was I wake up, energy drink. Right? So I think that love comes from technically the home I grew up in. My father's house. Yes, my father, we didn't get along on a lot of the stuff. Um, my father for food is one of my greatest pleasure in life. My father for food is boring. My father still believes in the sense of, hey, this is something that's gonna feed you. You need to eat. You ate. You're good, right? Versus anybody else that says, hey, you should enjoy the food that you're eating, right? You should enjoy it. And the best of the world, you're enjoying what you eat, right? Which is the main goal here. I don't know why it sounds such a foreign idea, but yeah, you should enjoy it. So then what happened is with my father, and I know it's gonna be crazy, but my father, growing up, right, the idea of coffee was very, very, very implemented in his life, right? I remember waking up to my father making coffee. I remember him, especially winter, I was possibly 10 or 11 years old, and he had somebody buy him a hazelnut coffee. And for like a month or two, he was making the coffee in the morning, and that smell came to titillate me, right? It was so exciting because it's the first time that something in this house smelled kind of delicious. So then when I was older, me and my father would have coffee, and it was the only meal that we both liked. We had simple meal, like for example, a roasted chicken, some rice, some eggs, very simple stuff, toast. But even the toast, we disagree on what was on it. My father was always going to do like molasses and peanut butter. I was more so like, okay, well, let's do butter and let's do peanut butter. My father didn't understand that. Why are you doing butter and peanut butter? Well, the butter is going to be salty, peanut butter is going to be sweet. They both have a similar consistency. So it's actually a really good mix. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Na zdrowia. So, my energy drink. Coffee was one of the only things that we both enjoy. And then the funniest thing is, when I came to the apartment, it was one of the best time with my father, but also one of the worst time. Some of the best time where it is completely normal, and this is such a part of the genesis. And you think that it's only energy drinks, it doesn't matter, but a part of the story of who I am, you know. My father was a very involved person in my life, to a point where it was his way of the highway. So when I went to the apartment, it was a bit of freedom, and that freedom brought us together because I was like, okay, well, this is not just an asshole, right? However, losing control for him was difficult. So he started to be very involved, and every time I would go to his house, I would get in trouble. And then we had a big fight. So then with that big fight, the funny thing is, I was with my father because my father lived close to me, 2 or 3 times a week, and I would always drink coffee. So I didn't have that special drink, I didn't have that special meal. Just to tell you, I was broke enough. This is a true story too. I was broke enough. This is an insane story. I can't remember to tell you that. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. I was broke enough to buy ramen, rice, and I couldn't buy anything else. I would buy peanut butter. And I would still make sure that I had an energy drink per day. So here's why energy drinks are so important. In my father, we had this love for coffee, right? But even then, I remember not during the pandemic, but in my last job, yeah, during the pandemic, the boys at work would always have this Kopiko coffee, and Kopiko was so good. And then my father, I assured him that he was like, this is the first time where I gave my father, this is something that you're gonna enjoy. He's like, nah, I don't care about food. I just need to feed myself. And he was like, holy shit, this is good, you know. This really brought us together. But they come back with the energy drink. I had ADHD. I came from a household that was on a diet. My stepmom wanted to lose some weight. It was a constant thing for my whole childhood. She wanted to lose some weight. Now, eventually, we understood that she was hiding food, but it was crazy because my father was hiding food for himself. She was hiding food for herself. So in this household, I was the only one sticking to the diet, you know. But this is another story because even then, the diet didn't really bother me. I'm always talking about how the diet bothered me, but it's not true. So the concept of a diet really bothered me. However, I was taking Ritalin and Concerta, which is ADHD medication that can result in a loss of appetite. So yes, it was a diet, but I wasn't really hungry to begin with. I was like, oh my god, I want to eat something good. I was like, okay, well, I don't feel like eating. This is in front of me. Okay, well, I have to eat. I'm gonna eat, right? And I'm not saying that we didn't have good food, but if you had if you were in a household that had diet often, you know exactly what I mean. It's not complicated. It's not complicated to understand, right? So long story short, energy drink came because during party, right, I was allowed soft drink. I think if you're in the 90s, I don't know if the 90s had a big role in that, but I think if you were in a similar household or similar culture that I was, soft drink were their treats, right? Some of those kids, they have soft drink at home, and I was like, holy shit, they're so lucky. At a party, and that's the craziest thing. That is the craziest thing. And now it makes sense. When I think about it, at parties we would have special food, and I didn't know why I was so focused on the drink, but then now it makes sense. I just said it. We didn't have appetite. We could drink. I was like, okay. So then, this soft drink. And then, ultimately speaking, what happened was I was craving that soft drink, but I was also craving caffeine because coffee was such an important part of my life, right? And the best gift that I had, one of the best housewarming gifts, was the Keurig coffee maker. I used that shit every single day for 4 years, right? It was one of the most important, not important, but one of the blueprints of income first year in the apartment. And the soft drink was a mixture of the coffee, a mixture of something that was very sweet, a soft drink. But it was also more than that. And you see, this is the blueprint of everything because I replaced coffee when I was waking up. And similarly, with the ADHD, the coffee wouldn't affect me as much as it did my father. So I remember my father going in, and we were making coffees, right? And I did like the taste a lot. I did like the taste. And he had more money so he could buy nicer coffee. So I would go to his house and I would take 3 or 4 coffee. And he's like, how do you do to drink more coffee? And then I started going to the bathroom because I was drinking a lot. And it's crazy because this is such a sad story, but it's the truth. I was at my father's house and I would make sure that I drink as much coffee as possible because I wasn't going to get coffee before I see him, right? So energy drink where, once again, a similarity where you'd have one a day and you would have to make it last. I remember at first, when I came to the apartment, I had a job. And I was drinking 2 or 3 energy drink a day. You shouldn't do that. And then what happened is, I lost that job, right? And then you're like, fuck, dude, I'm down to 1 a day. And you had to make it last. And I remember, this is a bad story. I remember setting up an alarm where I would have half the energy drink in the morning, have the energy drink in the afternoon, and I would actually wait and look at the time. I was an addict, right? And this is why energy drink is such an important thing for me, you know? And it's crazy because we did a video like a month ago, and I saw myself with energy drink, and I saw myself how I acted, how I talked, and how much it changed me, right? And now we're back to it. So it's a really weird relationship, and ultimately speaking, it's a weird relationship for 2 things. The first thing is, once again, my parents. They didn't say, hey, don't have this because it's not good for you. They said you can't have it because you have ADHD, right? And I think even if it isn't a case of a placebo, there is some truth to it. But the more you can't have something, the more you want it, right? Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Don't blink. It's your boy Ink. Welcome to the Cocktail Show. You're having a wonderful day on this 12th May 2025. Today is a beautiful day. They were installing a new meta for dude. We're having a new meta for food. So lately you saw me since last week actually. I'm not doing so well. So when we're not doing so well, so we're going back to junk food. Junk food. In a lot of case, junk food. Okay, so for example, right, when I'm on diet, when I'm eating to lose some weight, because you've seen me try to lose some weight last month, it was a lot of ramen, it was a lot of the same food. And to me, it's getting used to eating the same thing every single day. Now, for example, right, if you're eating chicken every single day, then you'll get tired of it, but since it's so much part of your routine, you won't mind. So with junk food, it does seem like that, but junk food, the problem with junk food is you would have it every single day, and it would be different because you want to get tired of it, right? And there's so much variety of it. And I don't remember which product, but one of the products that I saw the packaging of it, and I saw the real product, and I was like, this is so different. And now when they start doing a new meta, so the new meta is actually taking, you see this coffee chips? You're gonna be tasting it, right? Is taking this and showing this, because I was talking about how we eat with our eyes and we pay so much attention, and it's funny because when we say we eat on our eyes, it's crazy because this is kind of like the jigsaw. It's kind of like a jigsaw dilemma. So the jigsaw, you'll have pieces that are not done, and they'll show you the final product and say this is what you're supposed to get, right? And doesn't matter how close you are to finishing it. If you're doing it in one row, the image in your head is going to be the one on the packaging. And then I ask myself, right? You eat with your eyes a lot. I eat with my eyes when I eat something. For example, I was talking about how nice this is, even though it's a fucking can. Who cares? I mean this. I really do mean this. Now, what ended up happening was the product itself. It was so different, and the image was so different. And I was like, dude, am I really excited to eat that because of how it looks or how it looked on the packaging? And then it comes to a completely different skip. These are Legion. It comes to a completely different case because you're thinking, okay, well, if I'm eating with my eyes, then does it really affect? Versus if I'm eating, because technically speaking, right, if somebody presents you the food, you won't see the packaging, right? But on the second hand, companies put so much money in packaging because it's part of the marketing. You want to sell a product, and people are not going to see the product cooked; they're going to see the product in the packaging. So let's put money in the packaging, and you're going to see documentaries on how to do it. They're literally screw driving the pizza. They're putting it's crazy. It's really, really, really crazy. They'll take a brownies and to make it seem like more gooey, they'll add some glue. And it's insane. That's how they do it. So the new meta would be to show you this. Now, ultimately speaking, it doesn't matter. Ultimately speaking, it doesn't matter because you see the packaging, and that's what you're gonna see in the market. So technically speaking, right? If I were to show you this, right? If I were to show you this. And say, hey, these are really good. You remember this packaging, right? And then you would go to the store and it's the same packaging, and you say, okay, well, these look good, and this, I remember anything about these, right? You won't remember me showing you this. It doesn't really matter, right? All that matters is you remember the packaging. And ultimately speaking, there's product that you're gonna be buying just for that. So the reason why I'm talking about this, the reason why we're having this new mass is I do want to showcase both. And I do think it's important. I think it's such an important thing. We put so much. It's complex. We put so much effort in the way we look. We put so much effort in physical appearance and how my video looks, the quality, the thumbnails, right? As a content creator, you put yourself out there, right? We want to talk about the content versus the content creator, or the content versus what's inside. I saw a video not too long ago about Amouranth, which is one of the most popular content creator on OnlyFans, which she's gorgeous, right? But then she showed a case of her husband being abusive. And this is the same dude that she cried about before. And people, and it was like, okay, well, I can't believe I gave money to a girl that had a boyfriend. She still had the same boyfriend, so you're still giving money to somebody that's not single, right? And to me, this is the content creator, the way she looks versus who this person is. Am I saying that she's a bad person? No. Am I saying that her content sucks? No. However, you don't understand what I mean. For example, to me, it's kind of crazy because it's by era. Let's talk about people, right? One of the people that I really like following is Morg Pie. So yes, I've been following her since the Pornhub era. Morg Pie, I think she's super cool. The thing with Morg Pie is I find her entertaining. I find her entertaining, for example, and this is so weird because these people, I wouldn't give a shit if I didn't watch them and masturbated. Too much information? I don't care. Adria Shetnik, the same thing. I just saw her playthrough of Elden Ring. It was entertaining, right? And then with Morg Pie, I think she's funny. And Morg Pie, it's kind of crazy because Adria Shetnik, I didn't watch her old content, but I did watch the Elden Ring because we're preparing for Elden Ring playthrough. So I'm like, okay, well, could be cool to do. This is the weapon that she used. Okay, fine. But then at the same time, a person like Morg Pie, you know, I think Morg Pie with doing the it's so odd because she's doing some well, this has nothing to do with this, I understand, but still, she's doing some fitness content, right? And she's muscly, and a lot of people are saying, hey, this is too muscly, you know, but she hypersexualized herself, and you know, you're like, okay, well, but at the same time, you're seeing someone like Sam Sulek, and Sam Sulek, I find him to be the most entertaining body person that does fitness content. I don't like Alex Eubanks. I do like the Ten Brothers. I do like the Odd Twin. The problem with those, with the Odd Twin, and the problem with, in most of these cases, or in both of these cases, the problem with those two, the Trend Twin and the Odd Twin, is they're funny together, but alone, or like a big blob. And I don't find it entertaining. That's my opinion. This is what I think. This is how I view things. You can agree, you can disagree. I personally don't give a fuck. But with something like Morg Pie, I'm sorry it's so dark. It's fast to do today. I mean Morg Pie. In content, I'm seeing Sam Sulek. And to me, Sam is entertaining. He's interesting. He's smart, right? And then I watch him, and there's also this part of me that says, okay, well, I also want to see a girl do content. I don't know why. I think it's because it's more in real life. I think with gaming, I don't really care. It's bullshit. I like Asmongold a lot because it's one of the boys. Do I watch female content creator? I don't. To be honest, I don't think I do. I don't watch that many content. Well, I do watch Tammy Lynn, which is Chelsea Lynn, which is Sheila Trash Tammy. I do watch her a lot. Who else I watch as a female? I don't think I watch a lot of them. Right? With the content, the fitness though, it's so different. And you see, this is crazy because it wasn't the plan, but with Chelsea, Sheila Trash Tammy or Chelsea Lynn, she's a mukbang channel. I do watch also, well, technically speaking, I watch Amber Lynn, but I watch her from Detractor channel, so I do watch her, but don't really watch her. But with those two, they're talking about food, which is quote unquote part of the real life. Real life is fitness, real life is eating, real life is in video games, right? So with the fitness content, it is kind of similar. It is kind of something similar. So yeah, so this is weird, but this is still something. I don't know. I think it's important. Okay, to finish, because we have 7% batteries. To finish, I think it's important to be one of those people that is understanding that there's your content, there's how the person look, there's how the content look, and there's the person. And everything. video games, I think old video games, even though they didn't have the graphics, were good. I think some of those games that are having great graphics are allowing themselves to have a shittier story, right? And yeah, I don't know. I think we pay close attention to the way it looks on the surface, and deep down. I don't know. I've been following this girl, Splish B, and Splish B used to get all the dudes. She used to get really popular when she was quote unquote pretty, but then she had a depression and she let herself go, and then she lost a lot of the follower, and then she was like, well, if the only reason that you're following me is because I look good, don't follow me. And then yeah, it was so weird. I think this is a video that I would have had to do a part 2 because it's such a complex subject. It is so complex. Okay, so now you're done. I'll come back later. Fuck.